Illegal mining, or Galamsey as you know it, continues to ravage Ghana's forests, poison rivers and threaten communities. Some activists have called for a state of emergency in the West Head areas. But what does that really mean, and why have successive governments hesitated to use this tool to deal with the menace? Under Article 31 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution, a state of emergency can be declared when there is a threat to public safety, a natural disaster, or if an environmental crisis occurs, or a situation is likely to deprive a community of the essentials of life. Here is the catch. The president can declare it, but not without Parliament's approval in 72 hours. Beyond that, it elapses. Once declared, the Emergency Powers Act comes into force, and this allows the state to restrict movements, deploy security forces, ban activities like the illegal mining we are all worried about in affected areas, and take control of lands or facilities to protect lives and resources. It gives the government sweeping powers, but not without legal and parliamentary oversight. So why not use it for Galamsey? President Mahama has already explained why he is reluctant. And I don't speak for the government, nor do I sit in cabinet, but here are a few reasons I believe no government has declared a state of emergency over Galamsey despite consistent calls. First, there is a human impact to consider. Ghana's artisanal and small-scale mining sector directly employs about 1 million people, with another 4 million relying on it indirectly. Large-scale mining adds about 34,000 more jobs. While a state of emergency could shut down illegal operations in some affected communities, there are some small-scale miners conducting their activities illegally, and this could cut off livelihoods. Second, the social backlash. Mining towns depend on this work, so a sudden clampdown could spark protests or even clashes, and we've seen similar tensions in recent weeks in the Ashanti region. Finally, the political risk. Mining areas hold votes, and enforcing strict measures could anger key constituencies. So for now, this government, for instance, has decided to roll out task forces, river protection units and police deployments rather than pulling the emergency trigger. But let's draw the distinction here. A shoot-to-maim operation is not permissible under a state of emergency. The suspension of the Constitution can only happen under martial law. Martial law and a state of emergency are not the same. A state of emergency allows for the civilian government to remain in charge, but with temporary extra powers to deal with crises like disasters or civil unrest, as outlined in Article 31 of Ghana's 1992 Constitution. Martial law, on the other hand, replaces civilian authority with military rule, often suspending constitutional rights and operating without democratic oversight. Ghana's constitution provides no legal basis for martial law, ensuring that the military cannot take over governance even in emergencies. This distinction protects Ghana's democracy, maintaining civilian control while allowing the government to respond effectively to crisis. Declaring a state of emergency can bring about actions, but a cost Ghana's leaders have so far been unwilling to pay. Well, this is Tutuwaa Danso reporting for GHOne Television and Star FM.